My guy. What up? What up, niece?
As I vigorously interrogate the theological and symbolic meanings embedded in our society. I promise to leverage my knowledge of history, theology, and both international and domestic issues to imagine an inclusive vision for the future, which I hope will inspire all of us to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as a given, not just an aspiration. So join me weekdays at 12 noon right after Tavis Smiley for 2 hours of the Jesse Jackson Jr. Show only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, cause I need to know. Show me which way to go.
Man, thank you, James.
Okay, hold on a second, teacher. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hit his side of the story. So she's driving me insane, the stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, and I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
A lot of times you will hear people explain karmic debt as the karma you accumulate in your past lives and continuously have to experience over and over and over in every lifetime until you've learned the lesson from that karma you accumulated. Now, what does that look like? Let's say, for example, in one of your past lives, you were a really abusive person. You constantly beat your wife or beat your husband or your children. You were a physically abusive person in that previous lifetime. You have now collected karmic debt around abuse. So maybe in the following lifetime, you are the one that is being abused. You now marry someone who is constantly abusing you, or you may have a parent who is very verbally abusive. Until you learn that that's not the way you should treat people, and that there is a better way to manage your emotions and your anger, you're going to continue to experience abuse in different ways over and over and over because you haven't learned the lessons that surround that abuse. Your karmic debt has not been paid. Your debt being the lessons that you need to learn. But what they often forget to tell you is that you are still accumulating debt in this lifetime if you were not consciously aware of the decisions you were making and the way that you were showing up in the world and the way that you were impacting the people around you. So what does that look like? I use myself as an example. Last year, I was in a poly relationship that ended on a not so great note. The reason why it ended that way is because one of the people involved in this relationship got hurt by some of the things that I said. I called attention to some things that they were not ready to deal with, and because I did that, they got hurt and they decided to withdraw. My intention was never to upset them, never to make them feel attacked, never to hurt their feelings. But the moment I became aware that my words were the words that caused them to spiral and think things and feel things that they didn't want to feel, it became my karmic debt to charity. And what I think we get lost with this karmic conversation is that a lot of people will teach that it's all about your intentions, and they leave it at that. But what they tend to leave out is that even if my intentions were not to hurt someone, I am aware that it happened anyway. And because I am aware, if I am good intended, I will make that right. Some people will say, you didn't mean to hurt their feelings, so them if they're hurt. And that is where you accumulate karmic debt without even realizing that that's what you're doing. It is your job to clear that karma the moment you become aware that you have negatively impacted someone else, intentional or not. So how did I clear that debt? I cleared that debt by learning my lesson. I spent time with myself. I spent months hashing things out in my head and trying to understand what I could have done differently. And then once I understood and I learned that lesson, I reached out to them and I apologized. I just let them know it was never my intention to hurt you. I'm sorry that that happened. I love you and I wish you well. And I left them alone. I don't expect an apology in return. I don't expect any conversation. I cleared my karmic debt the moment I learned my lesson, and I made amends with myself on that. Now,
She needs a little help on the apology piece, but okay. Karmic debt is what she's talking about? Let's get serious. Let's get serious. Let's go even deeper. As you know, last week we embarked upon a series, right? The unseen laws, the spiritual laws. Every intimate relationship must respect. First off, if you're going to clear your debt via an apology, acknowledge what you did. Not I wish you well and all of the other flowery stuff. A true apology is the acknowledgement, right, of the infraction. I lied to you, and this is how I did it. This is what I did. This led to pain in your life. I am sorry for the pain I caused from the actions of lying to you. That's an apology. Not, no, it wasn't my intention, and I didn't really mean to hurt you, and, I wish you a good life. No, don't play spiritual. See, this is a perfect example of how people can get the gist of a concept, but not really understand it experientially. You only understand it intellectually, right? Let's get deep. The series continues. We're on episode 5 of this explosive series. And hopefully it'll do what my books have done. I guess people are waiting for me to get my doctorate in order for them to attribute some of the ideas that they hijacked from my books. Like current curriculum, relationship is the curriculum of self-knowledge. Oh, that was written in 2015 in the release of the relationship dismount, how to stick the landing. Well, I guess we're not going to say Zoe Williams came with that. We're not going to do that. Yeah, that's fine. I digress. Let's get to the work. Tonight's topic, very powerful topic. The law of spiritual debt. Many people are not even aware of spiritual debt. Many people don't know what that is. Let's recontextualize spiritual debt as generational curses, right? So many people have a different terminology for generational curses. I personally call it generational curriculum. This is how you undo the toxic patterns, right, of your lineage. Acknowledgement, embracing, accepting, non-judgmental observation, and empathy, right? This is how you heal those internal generational wounds, or i.e. curses. I would never call them curses because they're not necessarily curses. They are the generational baton that has been handed to you. Now, for many of us, it's unbeknownst to us. We go on perpetuating, right, what we've modeled on a genetic level. But life is very interesting. Sometimes God will send you the trigger that sparks the generational course. Now, you still have free will, so guess what you get to do? You get to deny it. You get to flunk out. You get to drop the course. What's your spiritual FICO score? Right? Is it in the threes? You need a cosigner. You need a spiritual cosigner. The law of spiritual debt. Every lie, scam, or shortcut leaves a karmic invoice until it's paid by pain or repentance. It blocks flow. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Who's ready for the real work tonight? This is a national discussion. The Voice of Reason is live on KBLA Talk 1580. You already know what it is, the most progressive. You know, the only black-owned talk station west of the Mississippi. The VOR is up in here to slap you upside your dome piece on your way home to Jones Beach. Here we go. Shadow currency. How unprocessed wounds become spiritual debt. Here's your psychological insight. Shadow repression creates identity inflation and projection. Your spiritual and metaphysical insight. Denied aspects of the self become energetic IOUs stored in your auric field. The Quran calls the aura halat, the energetic aura around your body. The Christian paintings of the Renaissance era always painted auras around the body, or angels, right? Always painted auras to denote some type of holistic piety embodied in the person. We should start painting pictures of people who have individuated. We should start painting auras around them, right? Here's your philosophical insight. Every unlived part of the psyche must eventually be paid with awareness. What did I tell you was the way to heal these wounds, these quote unquote generational curses? You have to look at them. Looking at the wound confronts the wound. That's the type of war I'm telling you to get in. But when you look at the wound, you can't look at the wound with shame or guilt or condescension or evaluation or judgment. You have to look at the wound with empathy. It's a wound, for Christ's sake. You have to look at the wound as an angelic nurse that's there to nurse the wound back to health. You can't do that judging it, trying to suppress it, trying to push it away. We are all incurring karmic debt when we don't apologize for what we've done to others. Listen, that's where the apology starts. You got to apologize to yourself for what you've done to others. Then claim what you've done to others through the act of apologizing. Do you see? No apology is real unless you state the offense. No apology is real unless you claim the pain the offense created. I don't know if y'all listen, man. Here's your philosophical insight. Every unlived part of your psyche must eventually be paid with awareness. The clinical and empirical insight. Jungian theory and trauma-informed therapy shows that unresolved trauma leads to compulsive behaviors and relational dysfunction. How are you still healed and you making excuses and creating new strategies for your insecure attachment style? Yee. Who's ready for this work? 1-800-920-1580. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Who's ready for this work? Tonight's topic: the spiritual laws, the unseen spiritual laws of intimate relationships, the spiritual relation or the spiritual laws that cannot be avoided or ignored by any relationship. The karmic ledger syndrome. When avoidance becomes your nervous system's accountant. What's your spiritual FICO score? Have you paid taxes on the infractions you have perpetuated against others? Oof. Here's your psychological insight. The body records bypassed accountability as chronic hypervigilance. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. The body records bypassed accountability as chronic hypervigilance? Yep. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. What if you don't know the person and they come with this? I hear people say, oh, let them tell you what I bring to the table. If you bring any of this mess to the table and I got to live through it to get to it, man, individuation is key. People are healed by Instagram memes. Just because you post it doesn't mean it represents the truth of who you are. Come with me now. Avoided truth calcifies as entropy in the field of consciousness. Reality cannot be evaded, only delayed with interest. Do you guys remember the timing episode? When I say you don't waste time, you extend time. There it is right there. Reality cannot be evaded, only delayed with interest. Here's your clinical and empirical insight. Polyvagal theory and somatic trauma research, Rothschild and Levine, confirm unresolved guilt manifests as anxiety, inflammation, and insomnia. When I come forward, we're going to go even deeper. The empath's debt spiral. That's up next.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with some.
Hey, yo. The voice of reason is in the building right now. The voice of reason is in the building right now. What up? Y'all want to call in? Y'all want to talk? Let's talk right now. Y'all want to call in? Let's be honest tonight. Let's really, really talk tonight. Who owes somebody something? Who in this chat owes themselves something? And because they owe themselves something, they can't pay back what is owed to another. Let's talk about it. Huh? 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Where my people at? Let's talk.
and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention, free LA high school, legal defense, and system monitoring. YJC promotes safety without relying on prison. Their goal, prevent system contact and help people exit the system through direct action, advocacy, and education. Want to get involved or need help? Call 323-235-4243. That's 323-235-4243. Join YJC.
What up, what up, what up?
When we fight, we win. KPLA Talk 1580, your voice for justice.
Hey, King Joseph, you ain't got to say that you're not going to call in, pimp. It's okay. It's all right. To me, that annoys me more, right? When you chat, oh, this is the reason why I'm not calling in. Just continue chatting on the conversation. That's fine. You don't have to acknowledge that you're not going to call in. As your brother saying this to you in love, that's very annoying. To have people chatting about how they're not going to call in and their reasons why. Do you understand? I love you. I appreciate you. Every time you show up, you bring a smile to my face. But brother, to chat about why I'm not going to participate, to me, is not cool. Do you understand? I love you now. I'm saying this in love. You understand? I'm saying it in love. Playlist.
How much a dollar really costs? The question is detrimental, bring the lines of my thoughts. Parasites in my stomach, keep me with me, come feel it, y'all. Gotta see how I chill it once I park this luxury car. Hopping up, feeling big as no jump. 20 of Pump 6, Daniel Marcellus called me Dumbo. 20 years ago, came from Gift. Now I can lend them my attitude. How to stack these residuals tenfold. The liberal concept of me do. 2006, he didn't hear me. Indigenous African, only spoke solely my American tongue was slurry. Walked out the gas station, a homeless man with a 710 complexion, asked me for 10 rand, stressing about dry land. Deep water, powder blue skies that crack open, a piece of crack that he wanted. I knew he was smoking, he begged and pleaded. Asked me to feed him twice, I didn't believe it, told him beat it. Contributed money just for his pipe, I couldn't see it. He said, my son, temptation is one thing that I defeated. Listen to me, I want a single bill from you, nothing less, nothing more. I told him I ain't happy, and closed my door. Tell me how much a diamond costs.
In this video, I'm going to be explaining what the karmic debt numbers 13, 14, 16, and 19 mean. Disclaimer, this video is for educational and enlightenment purposes only. If you do not agree with the information or cannot handle it, then please just scroll past. You do not have to watch this video. Alright, karmic debt number 13. This number is associated with abusive motives for personal gain, laziness, and selfishness in the past life. You may deal with blaming others and not taking responsibility, being negative, stubborn, and controlling. Your karma is to hold yourself more accountable. Now, people with this number may run into constant roadblocks when it comes to reaching personal goals. You can overcome this by avoiding shortcuts and taking a more grounded and methodical approach. Karmic debt number 14. This number is more about abuse of freedom, whether through indulgence or dominating others. You may deal with a lack of self-control, overindulgence, or commitment issues. Your karma is to develop self-discipline and vulnerability with other people. This number also relates to escapism. People with this number are typically free spirits, but you must maintain moderation and self-control. Karmic debt number 16. This number relates to past life transgressions in love and signifies a strong ego. You may have dealt with failed relationships, difficulty connecting.
Nah, I'm sorry. as an avid researcher of numerology, you have to be careful with the numbers. Okay? Okay? Because there's duality in the numbers. 13, for instance. Sure, you could read the karmic piece of it and say, oh, this means that, and the third. But 13 is one of the most powerful mystic numbers there are. You don't get the letter B without the numbers 1 and 3. If you separate 1 and 3, or you push 1 and 3 together, you get B, the symbol B. This is where it comes from. Man, listen, hey, man, all right? 1 and 3 equals 4. 4 is foundation. Do you see? So you can't just give the negative aspect of the number without giving the positive aspect of the number, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. We got callers on the line from all over the country. And they want to talk about tonight's topic. What is spiritual debt? How does one accrue spiritual debt? How does one get a charge off? How does one pay it all off? How? The empath's debt spiral. When compassion becomes covert extraction, chronic emotional caretaking hides unresolved abandonment trauma. That's your psychological insight. Your spiritual insight or metaphysical insight, borrowing bandwidth without reciprocal presence accrues subtle karmic residue. What do you mean borrowing bandwidth without? Yes, being a taker and not a giver. If you take more than you give, if you're a breadcrumber to keep people anchored to you for supply, that's borrowing bandwidth, right? And it accrues subtle karmic residue. You're philosophical. Giving without boundaries erodes both the giver's integrity and the receiver's autonomy. Your clinical and empirical insight, codependency research, Melody Beatty and Pia Melody reveals that trauma bonding maintains spiritual poverty disguised as virtue. I know so many people who can talk a good spiritual game. But when it comes down to those actions, when it comes down to embodying the principles that are falling out of their mouths, there's a disconnect. There's some incongruence. Huh? How much do you owe? What's your spiritual FICO score? Right? Do you have a low spiritual FICO score? I want to know. Are you brave enough to call in and call yourselves out? Who you owe? When I come forward, we're going to talk about it.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth.
Yeah.
Relationship dynamics with no nonsense wisdom.
Front that. That's funny. Hey, what y'all on? What we on? You owe yourself first. If self is wrong, everything else will. Ooh, hey, call in. Hey, I need to hear that. I need to hear spiritual bankruptcy online. I mean, of course they can hear it from me, but I'm staying on point. They got to hear that from y'all. Attila said spiritual bankruptcy. You said you owe yourself first. If self is wrong, everything else will. I need to hear this on the air. Come on, y'all. Y'all can't do me like this. I need my spiritual coins to translate into real ones, though. Be better, not bitter. Albert Rodriguez. Saving, not slaving. On the spiritual tax credit wall for not to let them in. Being treated like ham, not spam. Come on, Albert! I'm a spiritual quadrillionaire. I'm a spiritual Google heir. Multi-Google heir. In spiritual debt repair. Come on, LS. Hey, y'all get those names rolling. I'm going to shout everybody out when I come back on air. In spiritual debt repair is crazy. Y'all keep coming with them. Let's hear it. Spiritual arrears. Come on, let's hear them. That's some good shit. Y'all, a few of them have already been stated. Hey, and don't forget, if you're enjoying this topic, please, please, please support the channel. We didn't have a So What show today, but please, well, we did. Kinda. Yeah, kinda. We did. It was a replay. But apparently, it was a good replay because people were talking and I saw some super chats going up, but not to the level of what we're normally doing on a Monday. So if you guys can, we're not asking for much. Twos and fews. You can send it here at the $ down at the bottom of the chat, or you can send it to my Cash App, $Zoe What Nectar. Please support. I'd appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Spiritually foreclosed. Oh, we wildin'. I smashed the like. Thank you. Thank you. All right, here we go. Oh no, we got one more minute. Can you guys hear the music when I'm playing it? Because I got these headphones that now cup your ears, and clearly they're not the ones we normally use.
Your financial future. Talking about money
Sometimes not so much anymore. Okay. To shout out Question H. Question H, thank you for the super chat. You sent one earlier today. I wasn't even live. I just got to say thank you for just supporting both shows. I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Question H. Everybody shout out Question H for supporting. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Hey, let's share this with somebody you think needs to hear it. Likes looking good for sure. Here we go.
Empaths, once you go through your spiritual awakening and you start to fall in love with yourself and you understand your purpose on this planet, you're supposed to become money hungry. And narcissists, you're supposed to become love hungry. I'm not sure if y'all ready for this, but I got a download yesterday, and I'm going to share it. I'll be right back. What I love about my journey is the universe doesn't drop everything on me at one time. Being a Libra, and I am here to relate, I get all my karmic lessons in relationships. I don't get things outside of me. It's always in-house. So when I get downloads and I share it, trust me, it came from in-house. And I felt this way for a long time about the narcissist empath dynamic. But I knew it.
Come on.
Hold on.
Yes, please, don't stop leaving.
Is shorter than a 3-year-old. Hit the 2 times. But don't you miss this, because you're going to need it.
Come on.
Because you know how y'all go. Y'all don't have no attention span. 2 times it, but do not miss this one. You are going to need it.
Well, come on.
One of the first books I read along my spiritual awakening journey was the Kabbalion.
Uh-huh.
And according to the Hermetic principle of polarity,
Uh-huh.
all paradoxes can be reconciled.
That's right.
Reconciled?
Yes, ma'am.
So the narcissist empath dynamic can be reconciled.
Uh-huh.
Y'all don't want to go deep. I'm going to take you there. Hold on.
Well, come on.
You don't have to look up the word reconciled. I took the liberty of doing that for you. Reconcile means to restore friendly relations between.
Huh.
Cause to coexist in harmony.
Uh-huh.
To make or show to be compatible.
Yes.
Ooh, this finna be something. Ooh, I'm going deep, y'all. Hold on.
Come, stop leaving.
What I'm telling y'all is this cannot exist without that. Love and hate. Up and down.
Right.
Light and dark. In and out.
Mm-hmm.
Ebb and flow.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Stay with me.
Feng and shui. Come on.
When an empath is with a narcissist, you have to understand what an empath is. The people pleaser.
Uh-huh.
What I learned about myself, what I learned about myself is I would push away money and choose love.
Ooh.
And a narcissist, on the other hand, pushes away love and chooses money and material things. It's the flip now, y'all.
Come on.
The empath is supposed to now love money.
Ooh.
And the narcissist is supposed to be chasing and loving love.
Ooh.
This is where the paradoxes are supposed to reconcile themselves.
Yes.
So, when you see us out here now, we talking about we ain't married for no damn love and all. This is the empath dynamic, y'all. Because the narcissist will choose their material things over love. And now the flip and the gag is the narcissist is supposed to be chasing love. See, the empath already knows what love is. That's why we went through all the reprogramming and of our minds. Because we had to understand what the 3D taught us that love should look like, but that is not the case. See, we already know what love is. So when we tell y'all that we're not getting with these dudes for no love, it ain't that we're not going to love them. We know what it is. And we know what boundaries are, and we know how to set our standards to a place where we receive what we're supposed to receive. We want the money now, because that is what we're supposed to be doing to bring the...
Okay. She had me for a second. I was about to give her the praise break. But then I said no. She was cooking for a second until she started to speak in absolutes. Empath, narcissist, we have to understand the way she's framing it is men are narcissists and the women are empaths, and now the women are after the bread. So, no. Sorry, ma'am. That doesn't work. You have female narcissists and male narcissists. You have female empaths and male empaths. So she was cooking up until the point she got imbalanced. Okay? No, but we can give her some keys. We can give her some... Here, just some keys. Okay, because once you slide off and you start speaking in absolutes, some but all, some but not all. Does she have more? What was her name, Andy?
I don't even know who's on TikTok.
She was cooking, though. I have to say, she was cooking, just got a little imbalanced. She was close to receiving the praise break. Listen, if you're just tuning in, we have episode 5 of our ongoing series. This week will be the final week of this particular series. And this is the spiritual nature of relationships. What's her name, brother?
Universal Goddess. That's what the one.
Universal Goddess
on TikTok.
On TikTok.
The I on Universal is a 1.
So the I on Universal is a 1. Okay, look her up. Look her up and listen to the rest of it. That one little piece, she got the Sandman yank. But I'm going to continue to listen to her videos because she was cooking for the most part. And I do agree with, her analogy. I just didn't agree with, her framing of it. But it was beautiful. Let's get back to it. We got callers from all over the country. I've been saying for over 20 years now, relationships are inherently spiritual. I was called to do a spiritual series based on the spiritual properties of intimate relationships. Okay? Now, again, because of TikTok, nobody's concepts or original ideas are safe. Everybody hears something, I call them quote hunters. They hear something deep or they hear something that resonates with them, it automatically belongs to them now. The days of citing your source is over, right? So what happens is people are constantly scrolling, and you know how the algorithm in your scrolling is aligned to what you look at. So if you're looking at relationship stuff, they're going to send you more. If you're looking at trauma porn, they're going to send you more. If you're looking at girls or guys, they're going to send you more. And a lot of people are looking at relationship quotes. They're going to send you more. But just because you look at the quote doesn't mean you embody the quote. For instance, spiritual bypass or sacred repayment. The cost of mislabeling peace. Your psychological insight here, using spiritual language to suppress emotions delays authentic healing. Your spiritual and metaphysical insight. Misapplied mantras can become vibrational camouflage for karmic inertia. Your philosophical insight. Misnamed avoidance is still avoidance, wrapped in spiritual semantics. And then your clinical and empirical insight. Empirical data shows that emotional suppression is linked to higher rates of illness, disassociation, and relational rupture. That's Gabor Mate. We love Gabor. He's amazing. The unapologized moment. Micro wrongs as macro energy links. Let me do it again. The unapologized moments. Micro wrongs as macro energy leaks. Suppressed guilt over micro betrayals produce chronic low-grade shame. Spiritual and metaphysical insight. Every withheld apology is an energetic fragment detached from source coherence. Let me stop. See, people are clever. I love Krishnamurti. He said people are not intelligent. People are clever. Don't mistake cleverness for intelligence. See, a person will apologize to you while not acknowledging the wrong they did to you. They will give blanket apologies. Whatever I did to upset you, whatever I did to make you feel the way you feel, I apologize for that. That's not an apology. Let me go back. Let me read that again, okay? I want y'all to hear that. The unapologized moment. See, this is where spiritual debt is coming from. The unapologized moment. Micro wrongs as macro energy leaks. Suppressed guilt over micro betrayals produce chronic low-grade shame. Every withheld apology is an energetic fragment detached from source coherence. Truth untold becomes time-bound karma awaiting attention. Oh, what? What is time binding? Well, if you read a book from 2,000 years ago, that's a type of time binding. It's an ideological construct that had its origin 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago. Now we can also look at trauma as a type of psychological time binding. Truth untold becomes time-bound karma awaiting attention. You don't want to give it attention because you're responsible. Ooh. Research on moral injury, Litz and et al., shows psychological distress increases when transgressions are unacknowledged or spiritually unprocessed. What if you meet somebody that comes to the table with this? Huh? They got the good job, they got the money, they're talented, they got all types of things. But they come to the table with this. Entropy and intimacy. When I come forward, I'm going to keep the range hot.
When we come forward.
Are you tired of stains stealing your shine? California Cleaners is where you go to rescue your wardrobe. They don't just clean.
What up, people?
Hand washing, crisp laundry, and precise alterations, all while keeping your...
Hey, I really hope you guys are enjoying tonight's topic. I'm going to the phone lines at the top of the hour. Is it worth the wait? Is it good? When y'all call in, or when I answer your call, give me your framing for this topic in terms of, is it spiritual credit repair? Is that what this is? Spiritual credit repair? Is it spiritual arrears? Is it spiritual EBT? What we own? I want to hear what y'all got. Here to increase my spiritual FICO score. When y'all call in, give me your thought on tonight's topic, but also give me the title, all right? Let's make this as rich as possible, guys. And listen, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, guys. EBT rapture. Don't be afraid to go to my Cash App, drop $2 or $3. If we can get 10 out of the 46 people to drop $2 or $3, if 10 people drop $3, that's $30. That's nothing. Spread across 10 people, that's literally nothing. So please support. I'd appreciate it. My Cash App is $Zo What Netter. $Zo What Netter. I need a spiritual IEP too. I'm finna throw my phone, man. Hey, y'all wildin' now. Now y'all wildin'. Support the channel. Like, share, subscribe, donate. If you loving it, support it. IUD.
I'm reading Autobiography of a Yogi by Yogananda, and there's some truths there which I read that before I had your knowledge, and the other way I haven't been able to absorb. And now I'm rereading it. And I'm trying to merge some concepts.
Now you understand so much more about what you're reading.
I couldn't hear, I'm sorry.
Now you understand so much more.
Yes.
What you read before and didn't understand.
Yes.
Because now you have a vibrational basis of understanding what was written from the same vibrational basis.
Yes. Yes, it's so much, it's extremely how much more the book is visible. I'm doing an audio book, but same concept. And I believe I've heard you say before, and tell me if I'm misquoting, that the common Western concept of karma, that there is no law of karma. I mean, I'm probably misparaphrasing.
Well, there certainly is expansion, and there certainly is evolution, and there certainly is deliberate intent, and you certainly come into your physical body intending to have more experience. You just didn't come to clean things up, which is sort of what most people think about with karma. You came for the joy of creating, which don't you just really love and have to acknowledge right now that what you're talking about is where we started, which is the difference between the focus will, which is cleaning stuff up, and just letting yourself be. You didn't come to fix a broken world, and you didn't come to fix a broken you. You came as this perfect, non-resistant being to evolve into more. So there is some sort of karma-like commentary there, but most people are looking at karma in a way that is really not what you intended when you came.
I love Esther Hicks, but she's wrong. Sorry. She wrong. Sometimes the spirit folk always got to answer a question. Let me tell you something about spirituality. Sometimes the answer is so big, it transcends language. So sometimes it's okay to say, the response to your question is too nuanced to put into words. Let me meditate on it. If that wasn't a spiritual word salad, that was a perfect example of what we've been talking about, spiritual bypassing. Right? Spiritual bypassing is a lot like, and no disrespect to Abraham Hicks, I love her. A lot of times she's more on than off. But spiritual bypassing is a lot like toxic positivity. You know? So I'm pointing this out just to say sometimes we get enamored by a certain personality. Oh, Abraham Hicks gave me some jewels before, so she's right about everything. And that's not entirely true. Sometimes it's okay as a spiritualist to say the answer that is being downloaded right now is too nuanced for language. If a scientist who doesn't believe in God says, I'm going to create English prime, English without the verbs is or to be, because we can't really definitively say what anything is based on the math. Okay, we're going to use seemingly, probably, apparently. We're going to do all of that because we don't really know. We used to think the atom was indestructible until we found out not only is it not indestructible, it's indivisible. We go inside of it, it's connected to more and more things. We keep going further and further down the rabbit hole. We thought it was the smallest constituent piece of matter, but I guess we were wrong. They had to create a whole new English to actually frame up their thoughts so they could stop saying what things are. And I know in the spirit realm, you can't just say what a thing is. That's why they say God moves in mysterious ways. Man, when we come forward, the callers will have their say. I've never disagreed with Abraham Hicks before, but she was off. Yo, we got another Cash App. We got a Cash App from Stephanie. Stephanie. Can everybody say thank you to Stephanie? We appreciate the Cash App. We got 4 Cash Apps for this show. I am so appreciative for everybody who was able to just break off a little tiny piece of whatever they have. We appreciate it. Stephanie, much love. You just letting us know that you really rock with the content. You're going to hear other people chopping it up and refreaking it and rephrasing it. This is where they come to buy their new ideas from. The only problem is they don't buy them. They just hear it and then repackage it in their thought process. And that first hour flew up out of here, right? And now's the time, during a break. Hey, man, drop your little Cash App. We only asking for $2, $3, whatever you got, $5, whatever you have. It's totally up to you to support if you're vibing with today's content. And we wanted to do a special shout out for our girl, Stephanie.
Trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist?
We all are, bruh.
Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this is gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy? The child wasn't here, and you still had to play child support.
It's a very heated topic.
Oh, is that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I don't think there's something wrong with that.
I'm pregnant. Betrayal has been committed. Hit you with a bad vibes routine. How does he maintain his pomposity?
Why can't
you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you make women so well?
So Williams. Reason and accountability. The voice of reason.
You have to see that life, with the so-called conflict of various species with each other, is not actually a competition. It's a very strange system of interrelationship, of things feeding on each other and cultivating each other at the same time. The idea of the friendly enemy, the necessary adversary, who is part of you. You have conflicts going on in your own body. All kinds of microorganisms are eating each other up. And if that wasn't happening, you wouldn't be healthy. So all those interrelationships, whether they appear to be friendly relationships as between bees and flowers, or conflicting relationships as between birds and worms, they are actually forms of cooperation. And that is mutual arising. You have to understand this as the basis, apply this, not forcing anything, and you get spontaneity. A life which is so of itself, which is natural, which is not forced, which is not unduly self-conscious. Now, another term that is important, although I'm not aware that this word occurs in Lao Tzu's book, it's found in greater use at a much later time in Chinese thought, in a philosophy that is called Neo-Confucian. And it's also used in Buddhism. But it is a very useful word for understanding the sort of order that all this constitutes. It's the word Li, and this means originally the markings in jade, or perhaps the grain in wood or the fiber in muscle. It is translated nowadays in most dictionaries as reason or principle, but this isn't a very good translation. Joseph Needham suggested that organic pattern was an ideal translation for this word. Now you see, the markings in jade are always regarded as beautiful.
You might say, if you look down at the water here, when you see the waves break, there are patterns in the foam. Now, if you watch those patterns, you know they never make an aesthetic mistake. Never. But they are not symmetrical, and they're very difficult to describe. They're wiggly. So are the markings in jade, so is the grain in wood, but we love the grain in wood. And you see, Jafu has done these paintings of rocks based on examples, I think, in the Chinese book called The Mustard Seed Garden. These all exhibit Li. That is to say, they are forms which we know are orderly, and we can distinguish them from messes quite clearly. Mm-hmm. And so in the same way, the foam patterns, the rock patterns, the patterns of vegetation are at once extraordinarily orderly, but they don't have an obvious order. Nobody can ever pin it down. That's what I'd like to say. You know?
Man, Alan Watts talking about spirituality there. There's a pattern, but no obvious pattern. Nobody can pin it down. God moves in mysterious ways. You don't understand what kind of spiritual debt you're incurring because you look at spiritual debt as metaphorical, as opposed to seeing it as energetic. Do you understand? That's tonight's topic. We're on the 5th episode, right? The spiritual laws of relating. How would your relationships change if you treated spiritual debt as energetically real and not just metaphorical? In Thomas Campbell's book, My Big Toe, right? His cosmology is based on this. He understands E prime. He's a physicist who turned into a metaphysicist. For him, the scientific concept of entropy means disorder. Fear, ego, separation. For him, how you reduce entropy, you must grow towards unconditional love, clarity, integration. That's your psychological piece. Carl Jung's integration of the shadow and the mask. You can't tell your partner the truth about how you really don't love them, but you love someone else. You're not integrated. You're creating entropy. Entropy is a type of spiritual debt, relationally speaking. So for him, reducing entropy equals growing towards love, clarity, integration, and Confucius alignment. Spiritual debt, accumulated entropy from choices rooted in fear, selfishness, avoidance, deception, and emotional bypass. Right? Do you guys really want the work? Are you energetically integrous? Oh, you can look good on paper. You can look good in performance. But are you energetically integrous? Right? What karmic entropy builds every time you betray your own intuition to appease your ego or to produce or receive comfort? Let me do it again so you really feel it. What karmic entropy builds every time you betray your intuition to appease your ego or to receive some kind of comfort? You're a liar. Ooh. How many times have you lied to yourself? Are you building spiritual debt? Are you in spiritual arrears? What's your spiritual FICO score? Right? How does your refusal to integrate discomfort result in energetic waste and psychic disarray? You want it again? How does your refusal to integrate discomfort result in energetic waste and psychic disarray? Could the heaviness you carry reflect the entropic accumulation of unprocessed truth? It's still the truth. Just because you won't process it doesn't mean it stops being the truth. 1-800-920-1580. When you rationalize emotional cowardice with informational coherence, do you sacrifice? Might your chronic reactivity indicate internal disorder masked as moral clarity? In what ways do emotional shortcuts degrade your consciousness like spiritual junk food? How often do you confuse safety with stasis? And does that stasis increase entropy? You want to be regulated by disorder, and you think you're doing the right thing. When you suppress a necessary ending, how much karmic disorder do you invite? Could your clinging to identity be a form of energetic hoarding that raises your entropy? When you delay ownership, what energetic bills compound in the background of your being? I got to do that one more time. Energetic bills? I mean, we got enough bills in everyday society. I now have energetic bills? Yes, that are unpaid. When you delay ownership, what energetic bills compound in the background of your being? In what ways do your projections onto others reveal unprocessed karmic material? Could your instinct to correct others be a covert discharge of your own internal disorder? When you delay a hard conversation, where in your field, your auric field, does that entropic residue go? Might your most cherished beliefs shield you from truths that would lower entropy if you face them? How often do you project guilt as a defense against emotional responsibility? Could your spiritual vocabulary function as camouflage for unresolved psychic debt? When you bypass anger, what unintegrated fragments remain stuck in karmic limbo? How much psychic entropy do you generate by refusing to recalibrate after inner misalignment? Might your explanations serve as cloaks for the energetic chaos you refuse to metabolize? Could your nervous system dysregulation signal entropic buildup from karmic avoidance? Ain't nobody gonna show up and save you from this mess. Disney lied. Everybody lied. Your mama was broken. Your daddy was broken. Yes, and you have the ability to fix anything broken. Because one thing that can't break is your soul. The very thing that connects you to the source of all that is. The West African called it your ori. Oh yeah, there's this umbilical cord at the top of your head. Big mama and them say, don't touch the baby's soft spot. Yeah, that ori that connects you to Oludumare, Olukun. The Muslims say Allahu subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Christians say Almighty God. Do you understand? There is a connection. And that connection can never be severed. You are always whole so long as you can integrate to the point where you can connect with that. You create an identity that is based on broken patterns that you modeled in the people that were supposed to love you right. Do you understand? What spiritual debts resurface in your romantic patterns as entropy disguised as chemistry? What spiritual debts resurface in your romantic patterns as entropy disguised as chemistry? In what ways do your entanglements reflect entropy you have yet to transmute? Can your anxious attachment signal an attempt to outsource your own karmic cleanup? When you confuse intensity with intimacy, what disorder do you co-create? I said it, co-create. If you're a co-creator of the mess you don't want to live in, you are responsible. So claim should always precede blame. Oh, I know. It's their fault. You called them in. Might your codependency serve as a karmic repayment plan, one built on freedom, one built on fear, not freedom? Oh, I gotta read it again. This is crazy. Might your codependency serve as a karmic repayment plan, one built on fear, not freedom? What energetic cost do you impose on others to maintain a false image of healing? Let's get these callers in here. They've been on long enough. It's time to cook. It's time to cook. Okay, this is what we'll do. We're going to go forward. But when we come forward, I need a praise break moment. Can I get this praise break real quick? Yay! The fire is lit this evening when we come forward. All callers, all the time, from all over the country. Let's go.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings of fear. You're listening to the voice of
Who hung up? Who was that? Somebody hung up. Sean? Okay.
We're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far.
He called in and didn't even know what the topic was, asking me what the topic was. I was like, nigga, sit back, listen to the show, and then you can chime in. I hate when motherfuckers, what's the topic? Listen to the fucking show.
Because he going to keep repeating it throughout the show.
He was like, yeah, I don't want to, not be on topic. You know what I'm saying? I'm married for 30 years and... I'm calling back right now.
The topic henchman is crazy. Hey, we on fire tonight. Hey, this one of them ones. Where y'all putting this one? The karmic debt or the spiritual debt is crazy. What are y'all putting on this? Where y'all think this one lands? Last week is crazy. It's getting crazier with each topic. Well, some of our regulars is showing up. Lloyd Hinton and Ronan on the Cash App. Lloyd Hinton and Ronan? This is what we be on Monday. For sure, tapped in. Hey, this one different. This one hitting different. Lloyd and Ronan? Come on. And listen, if you guys want to support the channel, please. Transactional spirituality is crazy, Barry. Hey, that's crazy. Yo, that's crazy. Oh, you told me to knock it off. I wasn't. Hey, he said the question tirade is crazy. Hey, yo, I'm gonna need 5 questions and a synopsis from you, Barry. Hey, we on one tonight, yeah?
How do you come to think about the balance between fixing our patterns, investigating them, and dwelling on them? It seems like a lot of criticism is thrown at sort of reflecting on our past as akin to indulging in it, in a way, not allowing us to move forward.
Yeah.
This is a common debate that I'm seeing online at the moment.
Yes, and people, I think, are very afraid about responsibility here, aren't they? They're very afraid that someone will go, oh, sorry I did that thing. But the thing is, it's my childhood, and that's why, and the people will evade basic responsibility. So I think one can take full responsibility, full ownership, while still explaining it. People are also very worried about blaming parents often. That's another one that comes up a lot. People will go, if I start to investigate patterns, etc., the only solution is then to get angry with my parents. Well, again, there's a real, people are lied, was like anger, blame, etc. You can say this happened because of childhood dynamics. No one really wanted it. No, maybe no one's evil, but it definitely happened, and we can't evade that. Is the result anger, fury? So it doesn't have to be. Sometimes it could be. Yeah. So look, so many of these lessons. It's horses for courses. We
Broad strokes are very difficult with stuff like this. I understand that. But yeah, I think dealing with an unhappy childhood, retrospectively not resenting things that happened to us then, and we're now at the mercy of, wanting to be able to investigate why we are the way we are, whilst not allowing that to define us. I don't know, there's an interesting movement at the moment, almost towards...
Gosh, so many ways to build spiritual debt. Can you learn how to use Marshall's nonviolent communication to approach the conversation with your parent? Right? Yeah, you don't want to blame your parent, but can you have a conversation? And if they don't want to have a conversation, can you be okay with the apology you never got? Right? Could it be difficult to move forward or the way forward is difficult because you feel owed and entitled to an apology? Hey, I'm going to use nonviolent communication to try to get an apology. But if I don't get an apology, it does not destroy who I am. For many, it does. And I'm not saying it's wrong for you to feel that way, but I'm saying at what point do you recognize holding this inflexible belief about what you feel you are owed is part of the reason for why it hurts so much when you don't get it? Something to think about, right? Here we go. We got callers on the line. Let's get them all in here. Here it is, my nephew, Nazarene X, Atlanta, Georgia. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Whatever, man. Look, it's good to be back early. I don't know. Just signed up. Like was it a blank check buy from that first black card Christ or something like that? But this whole spiritual FICO thing, I ain't finna pay none of y'all. I tell you that right now.
You're not paying nobody?
I ain't paying nobody but Source. And Source got discouraged. The rest of this is just maintenance. This is a cleanup crew out here for real. It's about agreements and all of that. I love the energetic leaks because I believe that points to even stuff that was crossing my radar this past week, earlier today. Just having a sense of direction of like an objective, something you've committed to and agreed to, like anything that's detracting from that. And it's real subtle as far as the tugs. It could be a relationship, like an idea, like, oh, let's go out. Let's go do this on the third. But if it's not in alignment with something that you are setting to execute, that's kind of like your debt to repay in terms of your objective being to live out your purpose. Your obedience is your currency. But that's just, again, like when you drive, like, in my perspective, like, whether it's either for my fam, for my friends, for the mission, for the culture, the community, myself, loved ones, family, whomever, like, things that I've accepted and owned that I'm aware of, I'm on target, I'm on a mission to secure my walk in these steps. Because day by day, one of these days, I'm going to be out of here. Verizon still going to be late when I'm gone. I promise you that. And I don't want none of my family to have to pay that. And that also goes to say I want to remain present in all of my dealings to the fact to where even if there is something, guilt isn't keeping me in the chokehold to where now I'm stepping away from staying on my mission to go resolve a debt that ain't even mine for it.
Wow. Well, that's it.
Just accepting it all.
Man, that's an interesting perspective. But I know you got a little debt. I know. You gonna have. Yeah, not probably. We all do. We all got a little something in that ledger, brother. But you know
I
what?
appreciate it. Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something though. That ain't gonna stop me from loving my nephew. Nephew. Guess what you just did, sir?
Hey, Slama Lama Ding Dong, Skrilla on deck. What's happening? APL in the building. Appreciate it.
Atlanta is in the house. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. What would your spiritual audit reveal about the informational coherence of your life? Huh? Oh, that ain't gonna never happen. Ain't no spiritual IRS. What would your spiritual audit reveal about the informational coherence of your life? Come on, John, Mountain View, Hawaii. Get in here. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Man, if you don't knock it off with this question tirade.
Oh, I got a lot more questions to come, brother. Go ahead. Give me your thoughts, my friend.
Once again, I will take wounded trauma management for 2000 tonight, sir. So if all of these outsourcing has got the ability to tell you how spiritually inept or depleted or how much you owe, whether it's a FICO score, your spiritual insurance, or what have you.
Mm-hmm. Wait.
What are you gonna do?
Wait. Hold that thought. Hold it. Cause John's gotta cook. We gotta make space. When we come forward, we are going back to the Big Island. John from Mountain View, Hawaii, is gonna finish that thought.
Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the Voice of Reason with Phil Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. 3 years after slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars, Will Smith is addressing it in a freestyle on the UK's Fire in the Booth, calling out people who disrespect others on stage. Smith has apologized to Rock months after the slap.
Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable.
And now he's rapping about the incident and his chances of getting nominated for another Oscar in his song, You Looking For Me? The Trump administration is ending deportation protections for Haitians, saying the country is safe enough for return despite gang violence and instability.
Hey, Andy! Andy done went to goddamn El Pollo Loco. Andy gone. Okay, now's a good time. If you want to drop $2 or $3 on my Cash App, now's the time to do it. Or you could do it right here on the Super Chat, which is the $ at the bottom. I hope you guys are enjoying tonight's topic. And I really want your honest opinion about where you rank this one in terms of the other episodes for the spiritual meaning of relationships. I really want to know where you guys rank this one. Spiritual debt. Nah, he gonna eat. Hey, Andy, can you bring me a bottle of water? If they got any. No, Andy gonna eat. And gonna eat good. Okay. Andy got a whole plate. Listen, Andy gonna use that goddamn kitchen. You understand me? Andy got seasoning in there. He got silverware. And listen, Andy got mitts.
Hey, man, I'm trying to eat, dog.
You be eating well, though.
What, a salad and some, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, Andy do not be bullshitting when it come to that food.
Hey, man, I've been trying to. Did you want a cup of water or are you straight?
Yeah, I'll take a cup if you can. Listen, there's a whole spice rack in there. Andy. Y'all not gonna give me your score on this show? Stomach bubbling is crazy. My stomach bubbling. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being horrible, 1 being outstanding. Where y'all putting this? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being horrible, 1 being outstanding. Where do you put it? All the shows have been diesel. Diamond Blue said 10. I'm staying on point, said 1. Okay. And there's people in here. 72? Damn. Okay. And there are people in here who are just listening, who are not communicating, who are not sharing. They're just in here. 3, because I got in late. Oh, damn. Okay. You gonna ding us because you was late. Spiritual debt right there. Oh, wait. The debt equals 0. Jesus paid. We to the good. Food for thought. Love it. LS gave it an 8. Come on, LS, an 8? I know it's better than an 8. I'll vote on Thursday, T.O. Run, tell that. No, it's a negative 40. Wow. This week's number is 9.9. I'm going to rank each one. Okay. All right, we about to come back. Negative 40 is wild.
she spoke no words. Everything she said was heard. Now she poured her love for the master from her box of alabaster. Died to pour my praise on him.
And we are completely immersed in this and totally like this with our sense of identification and clinging to this sense of identification. So we suffer. We suffer because in that kind of mind we are tossed up and we are tossed down like waves in the ocean. So today I'm happy, tomorrow something happens and I'm miserable. And that's me. So it's very insecure, and very often it's very, very painful. But behind all that, there is that which knows. There is this quality in our mind of awareness, of knowing. If we weren't conscious, we would be like a corpse. So moment to moment to moment, we actually are aware. We are just not aware that we are aware. So what we need to learn to do is to identify with the knower and not with the known. The known is transitory. The known is the waves on the ocean. The known are the clouds and...
But that's what social media has done. It's made us superficial knowers. The knowing is internal, the work that must be done. Nobody really wants to do the work, but we all want to speak as if we have. Oh, you know what? You sound like an avoidant. Oh, you sound anxious. Yeah. There may be some dysfunction in your early childhood. What's your attachment style? Everybody, listen. Social media made it popular. TikTok, Instagram, it's all popular. It's popular talk now. But the work is still as unpopular as it was 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago. The dark night of the soul is not Lisa Ray's new restaurant up here on Slauson. Oh, yeah, Lisa Ray. What's her name? Lisa Ray? It's not Lisa Ray. What's Issa Rae? Issa Rae got, the little restaurant right here on Slauson. That's popular. You can't just walk up there and get in. You make a little reservation. You understand? We all make our reservations, get in, and we can all talk the talk like we did the work. But you know good and damn well, you ain't never did the work. The work will have you drowning. You'll feel like your life is over when you start doing the work. That's the dark night of the soul. Could your triggers signal precise points of karmic interference demanding attention? When you feel stagnant, what unprocessed energetic clutter blocks your forward motion? Might your physical symptoms echo entropic residues of moral incongruence or suppressed truth? Come on, but you can talk about it. John, Mountain View, Hawaii, get in here, man. Finish cooking.
Man, you're going to knock it off with this tirade. You're going to knock it off.
All right, now you got time to cook.
You hurt my spirit. But anyway, it's a good hurt. It's a good hurt. It's like working out. It's all good. To finish the thought, Nephew Maz had a brilliant point where he said the price of it is obedience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want to take it a step further, though. Because obedience, you could be obedient to your ego and fail yourself. Let's be obedient to vulnerability.
Hold on. Who are you talking to, man? Who you calling out tonight? You gonna call out the world?
I'm calling out us all, because again, the dark night of the soul not only has you deal with the things that are outside of you, but it also has you deal with the internal things within you. And if you're not obedient to yourself, how you gonna be obedient to anybody else?
Ooh, wait a minute. Hold on. Attila, my niece is listening. That's a topic. Obedience. Obedience to the... Is that what you said? Obedience to the soul?
How else are you supposed to be in these quote-unquote healthy relationships and you're antagonizing me by everything that you've learned outside of you? Like I said, if you need spiritual life insurance, if you need a spiritual FICO score to look at to judge me,
wow.
have you cashed out vulnerability? Because again, at the risk of it being vulnerable, in front of anybody is going to charge you something.
That's what you said. Obedience.
So being vulnerable to yourself.
Obedience to vulnerability is a bar. Sheesh. Man, you done changed the game, dog. Why is it so hard to be obedient to vulnerability?
Why is it so hard?
Yes.
Again, all of the outside influences. For somebody that has a group of individuals that influence them and enable them to make one thought.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce is... on the male perspective, which again, we have been obedient to the call of making ourselves whole, getting healed, getting this bag, doing all of these other grocery list of things to become these quote-unquote high-value what? Negro? If it's a label, we got it. Your spiritual FICO score is
9. I'm in single digits. It's a 9.
So again, to be obedient to the vulnerability that each one of us want to see. For us to have that safe space so that women can be as vulnerable as they say they want to be, instead of keeping this 50 to 60% divorce rate percentage that y'all choose. Or the ones that many men, which again, help us, Jesus, to find out where this space is supposed to be, that we're supposed to create for women, and you're not going to give us the same room.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. Hey, John, you know I love you, man. Guess what you just did, brother?
Love you more, big bro. Mountain View's in the house, blessings, so.
Come on, Mountain View, if you want to bring your city in the building. This is a national discussion. We're talking about it. We're all over the country. Can every panic, ache, or contradiction reflect some psychic ledger requesting closure? When we come forward, we're going to talk even more to the callers about spiritual debt.
Reason. Are you tired of stealing your shine? California Cleaners is where you go to rescue your wardrobe. They don't just clean, they elevate. Hand washing, crisp laundry, and precise alterations, all while keeping your wallet happy. Listen, all you gotta do is connect with them in the beautiful city of Inglewood. Whether it's grass-stained jeans, silk that's seen better days, or a hemline emergency before date night, you're on deck with California Cleaners. Cleaners, located at 1326 North La Brea Avenue, Inglewood, California.
Reverend L, you up? We're going to run through it quick because we up against the clock. We're up against the clock, so we got to run. Reverend L, you up next. And, yo, this is the last time I'm going to ask. If you guys want to do it now. We only got 12 minutes left in the show. By the time we come back, it'll be 10 minutes left in the show. Go to my Cash App. Drop whatever you can. We're not asking for a huge support. But whatever little bit you could do goes a long way, okay?
1580, check it out.
At KBOA Talk 1580, we're celebrating our 4th anniversary. And this track right here is the gift from one of our devoted listeners presented to us.
Get some information, get a true education to know.
How cool is that? Having a member of our KBLA delegation write us a song. Stop it! Our listeners love us and there ain't nothing we can do about it. Wouldn't want to. Thanks to Cardell and everybody else for turning on KBLA Talk 1580. We love you right black.
John Gilbreth. Thank you, brother. Don't hire him no more. Don't hire him no more. Thank you, John.
ఏమి చేసినా ఇది తప్పేటువంటిది కాదు. ఆ ఫలము తప్పక అనుభవించవలసి వస్తుంది. ఆ ఫలం మనం అందుకోవాల్సి వస్తుంది. The special feature of this physical body as the field is that whatever seeds you sow, good deeds, good thoughts and నూటికి 100 పాళ్ళు పంట పండుతుంది. You will have to reap the fruits 100%. ఏమాత్రం కూడా 1% కూడా తక్కువ కాదు. The crop can never be less even by 0.5%. ఇది చేతు అది చేతు ఇంకిన్నో చేతులనుచు ఊహలు వెళ్ళి అలసిపోకు. Don't get tired and exhausted telling yourself, I am going to do this, I am going to do that. ఏ విత్తులను నాటి ఇచ్చోటంటిరో ఆ ఫలముల నీకు అందుచుండు.
I'm sorry, I would let him play all the way through. I love Sai Baba, man. And I love the interpreter. He be lost sometimes too, though. Hey, the voice of reason is on complete fire tonight, man. We got callers, and I just got to urge the callers. Please, I know you've been on for a minute, but please make it concise. Hit us hard because we got to run through some callers. We're all over the country. Dallas, Texas. You already know who that is. Reverend L. Ratchet on the line. Rev L, long time no hear from, man. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
What's up, Big Zo? I just want to go ahead and touch on something real quick because I know we got short of time. I just want to throw this out here. Say, first of all, that spiritual FICO, you got to start with what a FICO score is, because a lot of these people have no idea what that FICO entails of. It's a formula.
Yes, sir.
It's a formula to figure out what's wrong with you and what's going on and how to correctly detail and do what you need to do so you can have a healthy and spiritual relationship with yourself first before you start trying to drag other people into it.
Come
Make
on.
sure that you're good.
Come on.
You know, people usually, you know how people do. People usually get their FICO score together when they want something. You know, when they want something, that's when they want to get it together. So, oh yeah, I want to talk to this girl. Let me get my stuff together. Let me get myself together real quick. And it don't work like that. It's a process. You can't just instantly, oh, I want to be good now. I got to deal with all these different things. I'm selfish. I'm jealous. I'm manipulative. So let me just go ahead and just act like I'm not all those things until you get with that person and they start bringing those things out of you, which was already there. You never solved them. You never addressed the problems within yourself. And then to add injury to insult, you blame that person, and now you're going around creating hurt with other people because you weren't honest with yourself.
Wow. I love it. I love it. Reverend L, you got to call in more often, man. Guess what you just did, bro?
D-Town in the building.
D-Town in the building. Let's get on over to the other part of Texas. You already know it's popping too. Houston, Texas. Come on, Attila. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Yo, real quick, I just wanted to address one of your lovely questions. Question number 18. You said when you manipulate perception to protect ego, how does your soul absorb the debt?
Ooh.
Right?
Yes, please address it.
Well, you absorb it because anything that you accept is your reality, right? So once it becomes your reality, you owe it.
Yikes.
Right? So essentially, let me just say, real quick, it works the same way when it comes to spells, witchcraft, and everything else. Anything that you absorb and accept into your reality is fact, as far as your unconscious knows. Right? I can't trick spirit, and I can't trick my unconscious either. So that's why the words that we speak are so important, and the words that we speak about other people are also equally important. So I think your language is also a debt. Anyway, I'm done.
Ooh, come on, niece. Guess what you just did, child? Houston, Texas is in the building. Come on, let's end it at home. LBC, you already know, man. Come on, I'm staying on point from Long Beach. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Real quick. What's up, Zoe?
Hey.
For the title, Spiritual Debt Dodgers.
Ooh.
I said, people try to avoid the debt like moving and not providing a forwarded address or deactivating their email address to avoid the bill. However, people think their FICO score is going up because they attend church every Sunday looking for the participation award, but they're not really participating in the spiritual work. That's incurring the debt. You know that your bills are your bills. Pay them.
Ooh, guess what you just did, sweetheart? LBC in the house. Come on. Gosh, don't be a spiritual deadbeat. Pay your bills. Hey, we're all, when we're dealing with intimate relationships, part of entangled mirrors. When you gaze into another's gaze, you might encounter a fractal of your own disintegration. Disintegration. Are you hearing me? You might sense your unintegrated fracture echoing in their eyes, returning you to that unhealed wound you insist on avoiding. In this interplay, connection transforms into a living mandala. Are you guys hip with a mandala? You know, Tibetan monks, the Buddhists that painstakingly create the mandala. A dynamic matrix where trauma history, attachment survival, cosmic longing, and shadow alchemy interweave. Clinical data holds that unresolved trauma rewires relational neural circuitry, triggering threat responses in safe contexts. That's Carnes and Rothschild. Quantum metaphysics and Thomas Campbell's theory of everything reveal that every avoidance, deception, or shortcut adds entropy to this relational matrix. An energetic entropic residue that buys you momentary ease and costs you long-term clarity and coherence. In Campbell's cosmology, Spiritual debt equals disorder, fragmented presence, disowned shame, hidden guilt, energetic chaos lurks in every unowned moment. You ain't never been the damn truth. All you've been is a relational thespian. You act right so you can get supply, but not no more. Attachment theory and Piaget developmental studies illustrate how early relational deficits create ongoing simulations of safety and control. A desperate clutch at proximity, a scramble for validation. You might mistake polarity or intensity for intimacy. You might use embodied sexual union as a temporary anesthetic glove to shield that core wound. Or you might weaponize kindness as armor, performing benevolence to optimize belonging, while accruing energetic overdrafts. Krishnamurti taught that psychological authority acts as an invisible jailer. Your projections onto another senses your own fragmented self. Listen, I started these conversations. It's really up to you to finish them. If you're really about healing, you got to step up and be the absolute truth for yourself, not for anyone else. You be a lie to keep a person anchored. You comfortable with that. We can't be comfortable no more. The Voice of Reason started it. You finish it. I'll be back tomorrow with episode 6. Let's go. Boom. We out. I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed tonight's topic. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. It was fire. You were fire. Appreciate y'all. Love, love, love. I'm out. Just